Hi everybody. So today we're going to be working on the Wander and Wonder Creative Kit. This is what they look like. I wanted to make sure I showed you a couple of example packets. They're the same, similar, but different because they have the same theme, and there's like, passport. It's all travel themed, the wandering part. And you get 4 backgrounds to work with. There's a couple of watercolor pages. Each kit makes between 2 to 4 mini paintings, and we're gonna make one today. It also comes with some messages that you can use if you'd like, but wanted to show you, this is the theme we're working with today, the Wander and Wonder kits. And I pulled a few pieces out to show you just a little bit of what the ephemera kind of looks like. I have a couple of messages here. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna use today, but have all of this. I also, of course, have my watercolor set. Gonna give that a little spray. You always need to activate some watercolors. Do you have to use watercolors? No. You can really use whatever you like working with. So if it's acrylics, great. If it's just dry media, color pencils, crayons, that's awesome too. A few other things that I have, of course, paintbrushes. I always keep a napkin, but I have my paint pen and a trial page just in case. Where did it go? Here it is. It's hiding. To mark, make sure that my pen works correctly. So we're gonna get started. I tend to start with a watercolor background. Again, this is kind of an optional part for you. But how I like to approach it and what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna look at my messages. So these are the 2 that I have this time. Your new adventure is just a moment away. And she let God lead. That was her game-changing moment. So I like this. It's 2 sentences. I can split them up or I can leave them together. Let's see. I play around with my ephemera to kind of see which one resonates with me at the time being, because that's just, that's what I'm feeling like today. I like this open suitcase. It's cute. And it goes with like the little stamps. Saw another one. A couple other stamps. So this is cute. Little tickets. I do like this bigger globe map. Don't know if I'm really feeling the buggy today, so I'm going to set that aside, or the boat. So I'm going to set those 2 aside. But I'm kind of liking either this together or maybe even these together. And honestly, sometimes I don't even need this background. So I think this would be cute here. Centered that. Maybe put that one there. And then I could split this up. She let God lead. That was her game-changing moment. That could be really cute. I might make this smaller and have a like multi-level mini painting, which is what I sometimes do. I'll show you a couple different ones. So here's a couple different ones to give you an idea. It's not this kit, but here I have the watercolor paper, and then it has a solid color border, and then like the fancier paper in the background. Here is just the watercolor on the, just the colored paper. Here's another example of like a border color on top of a background. Here's another one. This is kind of more of what this would be, is the pattern and then a solid. So I think I might go that route for this one. I really do like that. And over here, I'm thinking more along the lines of, this purple looks good. I really want to have some watercolor. I don't know if I'll use all of these little stamps, but I can set those aside for now. Your new adventure is just a moment away. I wonder if I did that and sprinkled these around maybe. That could be cute. I'm gonna get my scissors and chop this one up because I don't always like to put them as blocks like this. I like to break it up. So let's see. Your new adventure. Is just a moment away. And honestly, when you're using your kit, there is no wrong way to do this. It's whatever you feel like is appropriate, what makes you happy. So I kind of like this. And I'm thinking that maybe the watercolor will be more of like gold or something to make it pop out. That could be fun. And you know what? I have 2 watercolor papers now since I'm not using this one, so that could be a great trial. So I'm thinking this is kind of the theme, the route that I'm going to go in, and we'll get started. So first, I'm going to take this over to my cutter and scale it down a little bit. I will be right back. Here we go. That's what it'll look like. I do like it. I think it's going to be so cute. Okay, I'm also going to cut these as well, trim them down. Let me show you what I'm doing. Should let God lead. I wish this bicycle was flipped so I can put it over here, but that's okay. And I'm gonna put this over here. That was her game changing moment. Yes, I like it. It's so simple, but I don't know. Something about it makes me happy. So I want to see one more thing. If I was to bring this down, put this up here, No, I like this being more of like a weight at the bottom. And sometimes I like for it to go over the edge over here. I'll bring it closer. So it goes over the edge of this pattern paper, but not the yellow. Even if it does go over the yellow, I will personally trim it so that everything stays 4x4, because sometimes I'll place it in a magnet frame like this guy and it can't really stick out. I want it to be protected. So yes, I'm gonna just work on this one and glue this one down. Actually, no, I'm not gonna glue that yet because I already know that I want to get some gold in here. So I'm gonna work on that so it has time to dry. So let me bust out with some gold. We're gonna do out of all my colors, I think I'm gonna do this gold right here. I put this palette together one by one. So I think that's gonna be a good one. Each gold is a little different in how it behaves, so I'm gonna pull this one out also. I think that one's brighter yellow. Okay, hopefully I don't forget my vision. It happens, it happens. But I'm gonna set these aside so I can work on this. And this is really, for the purpose of this painting, I'm going with just gold, nothing in the center, because my suitcase is so large that it doesn't really matter what I put in the center there. So I'm gonna make sure my watercolor is wet, and it is because it came off easily. And that's why I pre-wet it, so that it has time to absorb and act like watercolor. Sometimes I like to put water. This is called a wet on wet technique. So you'll just fill your page. Let me bring this closer. Fill your page with water, and then you can go in, and if you just dab it along the edge, it'll automatically bleed down wherever there is the moisture. Like it gravitates towards the water, which is what I want, because this is going to just pop at the end. Like, see that one? Like, this one's definitely more concentrated, so I might just finish off with this one. Go back over here. And I like how that's running. It's really pretty. It gives it a natural watercolor look, because watercolor is really made for imperfections. It's not like, you know, color pencil or even paint markers that have such a stark line, like a very straight line. Watercolor is not that. It's made to be fluid. Water is fluid. It only makes sense, right? And that's what I love about it. So, yes. Right now you can see it shiny because of the water, really, but I really like how this is turning out in person. It's going to be so shiny once it dries. So I'm glad I got started on this. I'm going to let this sit off to the side and dry while we work on getting this other one glued, because believe it or not, I'm super excited about it, and it seems so simple. I didn't add much to it. I might bedazzle it with some metallic watercolor, because that's one of the things I really like to do. But personal preference, right? I don't like to leave my brushes in the water. Okay, so I'm gonna set that off to the side. Not using my pen today. And one thing I didn't mention was a glue. You're gonna need some glue. Sometimes for little things, I like to bring out some tweezers that I have specifically for my projects to help me place things without my big fingers. My fingers aren't that big, but like helps me be specific with where I want to go. Okay, so I know the layout. I'm gonna grab this one, and I always have like misprints or test prints. I keep them handy. I don't toss them, but because I can always use them for a project like this, so that I can glue like crazy and not be too concerned about my my desktop getting messed up. I can glue off the page. Okay, it's good enough. I always make sure I get like the good the texture side of the solid papers. Sometimes they come with texture, sometimes they don't. But I like, if it has it, I always like to have that added. If I see a gap, it's usually because I didn't have enough glue there. So I like to catch that early. Just go back and add some more glue. And then, so that paper, I should have showed you the thickness. Well, I can show you now. It's very thin. It's a thinner, like scrapbooking paper versus this one. It's a thicker cardstock. So with the thinner ones, in my experience, glue stick is fine. It absorbs the glue stick. There's no issues there. Now, when it comes down to like cardstock, this one's on cardstock. These are cardstock ephemera pieces. You can hear the difference. So with those, I'm not going to use glue stick. I'm going to use liquid glue. I just have Elmer's here. Not sponsored. You can use whatever glue you like. And I typically have some hard bristle brushes that I use for gluing items down, and so I'll add it here to the back of the page or the paper, but I'll also maybe have a pile of it on my scrap paper that I can dip into. But that's just what I do. You can feel free to approach the gluing process with whatever you have. All right. So I'm going to place this here. It's eyeballing it. I also want to make sure I leave room here. Bring it up just a tad. Until I'm satisfied, and then stick it down. Now, before I place the words, I want to make sure I get this one down too, because I don't want to miscalculate my spacing. And the brush, sometimes I'll use my finger, but for today, thought I'd get out a brush. Not neat. So this is not needed. It just comes handy. this little guy. Applying some pressure. Cute. And so that's where this comes in handy. That was her game-changing moment. I think I'm gonna trim this a little bit more, just slightly. And I like the staggering effect too. So again, each your own. Make it your own. You may have these words, you may have these ephemera pieces, you may not. Find something similar, create something similar. She let God lead. Cute. So this is where I like to have my tweezers, is because I can just hold it with the tweezers, apply some glue, and then easy peasy. And then I'm gonna go, instead of doing this one first, I'm gonna work on gluing this one down first so that I don't mess up with the layout, because I want to make sure I leave enough space for both. And again, because it's the thicker cardstock paper, I'm gonna leave or use the liquid glue for these because I don't want them to flop off or, you know, start to peel. And not that it would, but it's just, it's that extra extra security, I guess you could say. Cute. So here is mini painting or project artwork number 1. I may come in and add some gold. I'm gonna leave it to the side for now, but we'll see what happens as we progress on to the next one. All right, I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. Take a look at our paper. It is still a little wet, which is fine. We can continue to work with it, but I want to show you how beautiful that is, the gold. So I'm going to set all of this aside again. And place this down. Oh yeah. Look how pretty that made. It makes the, oh my gosh, my words aren't wording. It makes the suitcase, is the word, pop. So I like that a lot. I'm wondering, I may be discovering a change of plans. Let's see, let's keep going. I'm wondering if I did more of a, if I lowered this, and if I did your new adventure is just a moment away. Makes the gold pop out a little bit more. Then we could do some ooh, I think I'm liking this. Let's come up. Put Put these cuties in here. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it this way. Let's go for it. Why not? Why not? It'll be fine. Okay, so first I'm gonna get this glued down. I do like how that showed up. I'm gonna glue the suitcase down first so that I have my spacing right for when I glue the white paper. So I only put glue about halfway, went to the edges. And if I want this to have a small border up there, this suitcase happens to be like perfect for the sides of the white paper, so that's good. It's gonna be so great. Okay, I can see it starting to lift, so I'm gonna add some more glue. It might be that I was not patient enough with this watercolor paper too, because if you recall, I said it was still a little damp. I hope that doesn't cause issues later, but I'm just too excited. But I can go in and add more glue at this point. Later on, I could probably still do it, but it will be more difficult. So applying some pressure. I like this. Okay. A trick I have also when you are working on a painting or when you've completed one and it's completely dry, you'll see that it might start to warp because of the glue and the layers of paper. I'll put it under a book, a very heavy book or a stack of books for a few hours, and it'll make it nice and crisp and flat. So just a little trick I have for you. So now for the fun part. So I'm gonna kind of clean up my space because it's a lot. I know for sure this one. Okay, so I'm going to share another little trick. My white paper's not glued down just yet, or the design, but I am going to, so that it gets the eye is drawn to it. You see over here, I'm putting the Y off a little bit, and then I'm going to not put this one off, but put this one off of that white page a little bit to give it a full, kind of evens it out, an asymmetrical, if you will, or symmetrical, not a, but symmetrical feel. Because if I was to just bring it all in, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad, but I kind of like the off the page going on an adventure feel. So that's just a personal preference. Again, it's whatever you'd like for it to be. So I'm gonna add some glue here. I do always like to spread the glue around to make sure it is absorbed all over. Gets really good on the edges. And it's just a practice that I've put into making my mini artworks because I don't want anything popping up later down the road. So again, looking for, I don't know if you can see the texture slightly. It doesn't have a really big texture for this one like that yellow one did, but in here I'm just looking to have kind of equal space here as well as at the bottom, and then of course the sides. Once you're happy with it, press it down and flip it over. I left a gold. Okay. Yay. Okay, so again, I'm going to put my words down first, and then I'm going to, well, no, last time I did the ephemera pieces first, and then I put the words. This time, my biggest ephemera piece is down. I'm going to put the words, and then I'm going to surround it with all my little pieces, since those aren't really what is going to, like, the attention seekers for this one. So, just slightly off. This one will be slightly off. So now I'm going to add all my little ephemera pieces. I think, so this one I may have there, and I'm going to trim it. This one I knew I wanted to go here. There. I think that's what it's gonna look like. I'm super excited. So if you notice, I peeled up this before it really dried because I didn't realize I didn't have my full plan out. And that's okay. It's okay. I may have to put more glue here. And then I'll snip these off once it's dried. I really do like how this gold turned out though. It's very pretty. Of course, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I will do my best to get back to you. But the kits, like The Wander and Wonder ones are on the website right now. I think I have several of those currently listed on the site. You're going to see some that are sold out because they went like hotcakes at my last market. And so if you see it, make sure you grab it because it may not be there a week from now, or, you know. I create these kits in batches and I don't typically go back and redo them. So that's my encouragement to you. So once they're out, they're kind of out, unfortunately. So. Cute. I do like this. One thing I would have changed, which is probably moved this off to the side a little bit and cut it off to kind of mimic what's happening over here with me cutting these off. It's the only thing that's going off the page, which I'm not too thrilled with right now, but you know, it's okay too. It's not the end of the world. I do want to add a little color into this plain. So I'm gonna go with my brightest gold and I'm gonna try and get in sorry, sometimes I hold my breath when it's so intricate. Cute. So I went over, I'm gonna bring it up here. I went over the lines a little bit, but I will go back once it's dried with just a regular pen, a jelly pen, and redefine those lines. So I think I'm also, because there's so much gold happening up here, I'm gonna do gold on like the little hardware to pull it all together. The hardware that's on the suitcase. Cute. It's adorable. I love it. All right. And I think that is it. Clean up my space a little bit. I'm still wondering if I need to add some gold here, and I'm not sure if I want to put it like gold dots around the world, stars, but I'm thinking maybe gold dots. Let's go for it. For dots, I should have used a brush like this. So far, so good. Sorry, I do hold my breath sometimes. And this is no rhyme or reason other than I want a little shimmer. They're not even spaced out evenly, but that's okay. It gives a character. Cute. I like it. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna show you up close. I just gave it that little oomph, you know? Awesome. So these are my final pieces of art.
Ooh la la.
Using pieces from a Wander and Wonder creative kit. You can find them on the website shopjournalpoint.com. Again, each one is going to be a little different, similar but different. They all have the travel theme. There's a few more extra pieces in there, so you can check these out. There's also other kits that you'll see in other videos being used, and the whole purpose is to just have fun and get creative. Until next time. One is going to be a little different.